Go straight into it. Good morning, folks. We're learning Parsha of the week today with a clear path to our spirituality today. A clear path to our spiritual service. Now, we know, as Jews, we know that you're supposed to do what? You're supposed to do the 613 mitzvahs, right? That's pretty clear, right? Are we cool with that? Yeah. Everybody okay with that path, right? Okay. So we're supposed to do 613 mitzvahs. It's not very complicated to know what to do. You open the Torah, there's lists. If you open the brown chumash we have over here, the 613 mitzvahs are listed at the back in chronological order as they appear in the chumash, right? That's not very complicated. Also, there's various books you can find. We're learning the Chafetz Chaim, the Sefer HaMitzvahs, the book of the mitzvahs, which are relevant to today. There's only about 271 of them that are actually able to be fulfilled today while we are still in days of exile without the temple built. In addition to the 613 commandments, there are 7 more mitzvahs midrabanan, rabbinical mitzvahs, which add up to a total of 620. These 7 mitzvahs, always difficult for me to remember, but I'm going to give my best shot. Chanukah and Purim. Chanukah and Purim. Kiddush and Havdalah. The Eruv, right? Eruv. That was by King Solomon. The Eruv, which is Shabbos Eruv, the carrying, the Eruv. Then there's 2 more. Hard to remember these. No Monas Kaddish. Mourning, the laws of mourning, right? Avelus. And then there's one more. I think it's another life cycle thing, like marriage or something.
Interesting.
Do you remember what it is? I forget. It's not easy to remember those 7, but somehow they're like all over the map. Either way,
Eruv is one.
I believe Eruv is one. Oh, you know what it is? Washing hands before bread. That's what it is. Okay, there you go. 620 mitzvahs. Okay, that's going to keep you busy for a while. Comes the Weekly Torah Portion and gives us a new memo. The name of the Parshah is Kedoshim. Holy. What does it mean? Holy. Kedoshim tihi, you shall be holy. How do you be holy? Right now, one would think that being holy is about fulfilling the mitzvahs. Comes Ramban, Nachmanides, 900 years ago. And the other commentaries of the Torah, and they tell us 4 words that change the path of Judaism for all time. Kadesh atzmecha bemutar lach. Sanctify yourself. Kadesh. Sanctify yourself with that which is permissible to you. Sanctify yourself with that which is permissible to you. Now, one would have thought that when it comes to doing mitzvahs, that which is forbidden is forbidden. And that which is permissible is, like its name implies, permissible.
But you said what's permissible is not needed.
We're going there. This is where we're going. Yeah. One would think, Hava Amina, I would think, in Aramaic, Hava Amina. I would think that which is forbidden, I'm not allowed to go, but that which is permissible, of course I'm allowed to go. So in other words, apples are not forbidden if they're not in the first 3 years of the tree's life, or the 4th year, as we've learned, right? If they're not grown in the sabbatical year in a Jewish farm, right? If they're not stolen, right? Various multiple different factors here that surround apples. But assuming you went through all of those hoops, right? Then you're allowed to eat the apple with a blessing, right? Right, of course. I'm just giving an example, right? Or Sunday. So Shabbos, you can't do certain things, but Sunday, you can do certain things, right? Someone would think that you're allowed to do whatever you want. You're allowed to indulge. Comes the Torah in this week's Torah portion and gives us a clear path to spirituality by telling us that which is forbidden, of course it's forbidden. Das was mentarnish, tarmanish. That which is you're not allowed to do, for sure you're not allowed to do. Und was memeg, and this that you're allowed, darf benisht, you don't need. This that you're allowed, you don't need. See, in other words, what that implies is that what you should be doing is what you need. What you need. There's need, allowed, and forbidden. Right? Mm-hmm. Forbidden, forget about it. Permissible, you don't need. Need? Okay, go for it. What do you need? You need to eat, you need to drink, you need to sleep. Do you need to sleep 18 hours a day? No. Or in moderation, which basically means it's a path to spirituality of how we're supposed to live our lives, that you're supposed to use the resources of this physical world only as much as you need for what? For what? Sacrifice. To survive and thrive. This is so weird. When I go like this, sometimes YouTube or Zoom gives me like thumbs up. It's weird. It's kind of weird. Unless he agrees with me. I don't know. Maybe Larry Page is watching. Okay. So my point is that what do you need? What do you need it for? You need it in order to survive. What do you need to survive for? In order to live as a Jew. The role of a Jew is in order to bring holiness to this world. Where are you supposed to bring holiness into? You're supposed to bring holiness into the neutral, parav parts of our lives. It's not enough to follow what the Torah tells us to do, which is the 613 commandments. What we are supposed to do is to go beyond that and to sanctify the mundane. Now, this is a theme which we've been developing in recent weeks. We've learned about it in Yom Yom, we've learned about it in the Code of Jewish Law, and we even learned about it earlier this week when we spoke about the Baal Shem Tov, who would make it his business to travel around and ask the ordinary Jews regular questions. How are you? How are your kids? How the wife? How's the children? How's the business? Right? And the purpose of the question was in order to inspire the Jews to respond with I dank the Meibestern. I dank the mein heilige Tate in Himmel, right? Thank my beloved Father in heaven. And so on, these expressions were considered, one in the Baal Shem Tov explained, Ve'ata kadosh yoshev tehilas Yisrael. And you're holy. Yoshev, you're dependent upon tehilas Yisrael, the praises of Israel. That's how we explained it, right? I want to challenge you, but right now, I want to ask you. Mickey, you ask him how he's doing, he'll always tell you, how you doing, Mickey? Always. He's a holy man. He's a holy Jew. Whenever you ask him how he's doing, he'll always tell you Baruch Hashem, right? It's a beautiful thing. Now, Baruch Hashem doesn't always mean good. Doesn't always necessarily mean good. It means Hashem is in control, right? In other words, I'm not flipping out. I'm not fearful. A Jew is never fearful. Remember why? Al-Tira. The most frequently repeated, most oft repeated directive in Torah is never to be afraid. I believe, based on Tanya, part 5, Epistle 11, that the purpose of our existence upon this earth, the reason why we dispatch to this earth, is in order to overcome fear. This is my understanding of Tanya, Epistle 11. But, that being said, and Andy can relate to that, right? The purpose of our existence in this world. The purpose of our existence, think about those words, you got to meditate on that before davening. Epistle 11. So, but then we'll learn about that tomorrow. So, my point is that no fear, Baruch Hashem means no fear. Means the situation is unpleasant. Baruch Hashem.
That doesn't sound right.
Why not? Why not? You don't have to be a Pollyanna. You don't have to be a Pollyanna. How are you? Everything's okay. Amazing. Why do you have to say that? You can say, look, we still have hostages. The world is in dererd. The Israeli tourists in Greece were hunted down by a mob. Life is not so cool. Baruch Hashem. I want to challenge you to talk like this. I want to challenge you to add this to your lexicon. Say Baruch Hashem, and your children say, what? Baruch Hashem.
That's how I should have responded to his comment about the speech last time. Baruch Hashem.
Yeah, Baruch Hashem. Exactly. That would have contained your entire answer, because what do you think about the president's speech? You could have said, listen, I'm not sure I agree with everything. I'm not sure I accept everything. Baruch Hashem, Hashem is in control. That would have encapsulated the whole message here, right? And what are you doing? You're providing the Eibishter's Parnasa. You're providing Hashem, the master of the universe, his livelihood. Now,
yeah, but everybody says that when things are good. You ever see a guy down in his luck in a hospital after that? Somebody says, how are you? Baruch Hashem.
Yeah. I'm a rabbi. I say it all the time.
You're a lucky guy.
That's the point.
You got to hang around the wrong people.
That's the point we're trying to get.
Rob, you,
You
sir, need to be a light unto your environment.
That's it.
So when you start the lighthouse, they'll be like, some people say, I really like how that guy is living his life. Seriously, people will look up to you. The world, Johnny Walker, the world stops to watch a man who knows where he's going. Okay? You got to be that guy.
Sounds like whiskey to me.
Yeah, you got to be that guy. You got to be the guy that people say, I want to be like him. I don't know what he's drinking, but I want to be like him. You know what I mean? You got to be that guy in your environment.
Johnny Walker was
Think about how many of our friends right now are reacting in fear to what's going on in colleges and in campuses, whatever.
Yeah.
Think about it. You be the guy that says, listen, the situation is not pleasant, but Hashem is in control. Oh, well, why would Hashem do that? So I have the same question. I don't know why Hashem would do that, but I know that Hashem is in control. That's an interesting conversation you'll have right there. Write it on your little piece of paper, right? Anyways, so what we're doing here is that we're being introduced to this idea of Kadesh Atzvecha b'mutar lach, sanctify yourself with that which is permissible to you. There's a beautiful story of Reb Mendel Futterfass, who was a famous chassid who was languished, I think, 20 years in the Russian Gulag. He was a chassid of the Frierdiker Rebbe. He became a chassid of the Rebbe. And the story goes, when he got married, he would exercise this Hasidic practice, which is introduced to us in Tanya. We learned about it yesterday in the Hasidus class, called iskafia. Iskafia means suppression. Suppression of your desires. Like Larry David, curb your desires. Curb your desires, no?
That's where you got it from.
Yes, that's Scaffia. So what you're doing here is that you're curbing your desires. Now, what does that mean? What does that mean on a practical level? So you get to the buffet line. Do you have to taste 2 of everything? No, you don't have to taste it. Imagine you curbed your desires and you said, I'm not going to have that one thing over there, which I really want, but I'm not going to have it. What's the purpose? Suppression. What you're doing is iskafia. Instead of tasting every single item on the buffet, what you're doing is that you're saying, that one I don't touch. You know, I serve God with CocaCola. Seriously. When I was a kid, I used to love CocaCola. And then at some point in my life, when I learned about iskafia, I decided that CocaCola is something which I'm going to sanctify. I mean, yeah, I'm going to sanctify because it's something permissible. It's permissible. I'm allowed to drink Coca-Cola. Right. But I don't want to drink it because I want this to be my patch to my Yetzer Hara, to my evil inclination. And for years, I stopped drinking Coca-Cola. Then I got married. I don't know, somebody convinced me to get back on it. I tried to drink it again. I got headaches. I couldn't handle it. I was like, you know what? By now, it's no longer iskafia for me. It's no longer because I don't even want it.
It's not even healthy.
When you've been detoxed for so many years and you taste, I tell my kids, you want poison? You want poison? Why would you want to drink this stuff? But I'm at a point where I've already reached, I don't want it anymore, right? So when it comes to Mendel Futafas, what happened was he got married and his wife, made him dinner. So she made him dinner and she noticed that he left over a little piece of the food, didn't finish the food. So she thought maybe she made too much. Maybe she got a little bit of a smaller appetite. So the next night she made a little bit of a smaller portion. She notices, still a little left over. Okay? Next night she makes a little bit of a less smaller portion. And I told her she got 3 peas and a little carrot on it. She's like, what are you living off? And he explained to her that he was leaving off the edge because he didn't want to eat to the end of his appetite. And I want to challenge you to like this. When was the last time that you finished a meal at 80 or not, at less than 100% of your appetite? Think about that.
See, we were raised a little differently.
Just answer the question. Hold on. Just answer the question. When is the last time that you finished a meal and you didn't go until 100% of your appetite filled? Maybe don't answer that.
Sometimes.
Right. Sometimes. But why would you even do that? I want to eat until I'm full. I'm eating until I'm full. Think about that. We just learned right now in Halacha before this class, we learned that the food that you eat is the cause of your greatest illness. Eating too much food, we said, and eating the wrong food. That's what it says in the Code of Jewish Law. We said that in the winter, a person should eat more than in the summertime. So in the summer, you should be eating only 2/3 of what you eat in the winter. That's what we learned, right? Do you do this? Do you know anybody who eats until only 80% or 70 or 66% of his appetite in the summer? Oh, it's summertime. Okay, enough. I'm not having.
But
Right?
like Andy said, we grew up.
We all grew up
Parents
this
saying,
way.
finish your meal.
Because there's poor
They're
kids in
They're
Africa.
starving in Europe.
They're starving in
They're starving in
Africa. Starving in
Yeah, starving.
said
Finish your meal. It made no sense, actually.
Or Benjamin Franklin, one not waste.
Before I went
right?
swimming in the summer, she said, always told me, don't fill up, you'll get a cramp.
We all heard that. right?
All heard that, so
I
in
have
the
a
summertime,
friend-
we didn't fill up.
His
He'd
motto
like to go
was-
swimming in an hour.
I have a friend whose motto was, you can afford to order it, you can afford to leave it.
Okay, very interesting.
Because you pay for
Which
it,
reminds me actually of the woman.
eat the whole thing.
Which reminds me of the woman. She's driving out of her Beverly Hills mansion. She's driving out in her Mercedes-Benz
Rolls Royce. Negative Rolls Royce.
S class something, whatever. Yeah. As she rolls out of her driveway, she sees a poor man coming over to her. She rolls down the window. The whiff of cold air comes out, and he says to her, "Ma'am, I haven't eaten in 3 days." She looks at him and says, "I admire your self-control." Right. So this is the spiritual path of this week's Torah portion. And now, why is this so important? Why is it so important to be able to live life this way? Here's the reason. Tanya chapter 37 explains to us as follows: that it is our choices and actions during the exile that will bring Mashiach. That's what it says, which means like this: that when a Jew engages with the physical world, what we're doing is that physical part of the world becomes holy. Now, as opposed to other religions, and I talk about this a lot, that try to leave this world because they're trying to get to heaven. The faster to heaven, the better. For Jews, we don't want to get to heaven. Why? Because we're on a mission. We're not looking to jump ship. We're on a mission here. We're contractors, special forces who are here to finish the job. I'm not here to
front line.
I'm not looking for an exit strategy. I'm here to finish the job. Now, what that means is that every time you engage with a physical object, you're making it holy, right? Now, if you're going to take something which is already holy, like a Torah scroll, that's nice. Torah scroll is nice. Take something that's not holy and make it holy, like your time. Think about that. Your most precious resource is your time and your attention. Maybe your money also. Think about that, right? You take those three items and you use them for holy purposes. Now, they're all parav. You can use them for whatever you want, right? They're discretionary. Time, we said time, attention, and money, right? I mean, you could argue the time you're supposed to use for Torah study. You could argue that. But let's say money. Money, you don't have to use money for a mitzvah, right? You don't have to use your dining room table for a Torah class. You don't have to use your kitchen table for a farbrengen, right? But when you do, what you're doing is that you're sanctifying the mundane. So what you're doing is that you're allowing godliness to permeate into that piece of real estate, into that part of this world. That's the true definition of Or LaGoyim, of a light unto the nations, right? Goyim means like Goyim means nations, right? So it means like not the Jews, like non-Jews. That's what it means, non-Jews. So in a sense, you could interpret Goyim to mean not holy, like not chosen or not holy, right? And what we're doing is you're supposed to bring the light to the place where the light doesn't shine yet. Where is that? In all the mundane, parav parts of this world. When a Jew makes a choice to say, okay, so when I'm in shul, very nice. I'm davening, I'm in tefillah, I'm in a holy place, in a holy space, in a holy mindset. Good. But what happens when I'm in the streets? Am I going to curb my words not to say words that are inappropriate? Am I going to curb my words to say Baruch Hashem? Right? Am I going to speak words that are not blasphemous? Right? That are not disrespectful? Right? Am I going to say words that are manifesting godliness? Right? That's a choice I make on Main Street. And when you do that by your own desire, you've shown that you're not being forced to do the right thing. By using your discretionary time and discretionary resources for a holy purpose, you're actually showing that your mindset is there where you're ready to welcome godliness. It's like, when you're pairing your phone to your car, it says phone is ready to pair, right? When you do that, your mind, your physical resources are ready to pair with godliness, with Hashem. And that is the ultimate preparation for the coming of Mashiach. What's going to happen with the coming of Mashiach is that this entire world is going to be filled with the glory of Hashem. As we know that the purpose of creation is that Hashem desired a dwelling place in this physical world, that this lowly physical world, which means a world which is spiritually dark, should be a place where godliness is revealed. And the preparation for this is specifically when we, the Jews, God's contractors, make the choice to sanctify ordinary objects. And therefore, that is, this divine service is the ultimate preparation and the proper spiritual service that we need to employ right now to bring Mashiach. All right? Yeah.
That's a major change.
May you speak.